Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does actually see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use the headphones, alright? Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised, all right? Okay, so where we left off, folks, we're going into a new comment. We'll see if this will be short or not, right? You never know with me. One comment claims the FDA incorrectly cites reference 34 to support the risk that ESDs cause temporary or long-term increases in symptoms and frequency of SIB. Oh, Jesus Christ, JRC, you are so full of shit. It's common knowledge. All right? If you are being abused, which, yes, JRC, if you are shocking someone multiple times a day with just below the lethal limit amount of electricity pumping through their veins, that's abuse. You are more than likely going to see an increase over time of self-injurious behavior. Want to know why? Because one of those fun side effects of abuse is self-hatred, where you convince yourself that actually you really are that much of a piece of shit. When you convince yourself that you deserve every single thing that is happening to you, because folks, that's what I did when I was a kid. It was the only thing I could understand, wrap my brain around. Didn't have a high opinion myself as a kid, folks. Confidence in all this, you see, that came in adulthood after years of therapy. Just saying. When you buy into what your abuser is selling, when you give in to that self-hatred, this is for neurotypicals as well as atypicals, by the way. You may give in to self-injurious behavior, although I'm going to call it what it is, self-harm, because I am sick and goddamn tired of having two different terms for what is essentially the exact same behavior because they want to use it to differentiate us from the normies. Self-harm is self-harm. It shouldn't matter if you have a diagnosis or not, and I'm tired of acting like there's some form of difference here. An increase of frequency of self-injurious behavior, what it looks like in a neurodiverse person, might be the dreaded slamming the head into the wall multiple times at full force. The gouging the arms out, or my personal favorite as a kid, digging your nails deep into your arms and ripping up. It might be my second go-to as a kid, where you slam the bristles down, full force, both hands, slamming it as hard as you can again and again and again. I actually did the head into the wall thing extremely rarely. These reactions are a result of that self-hatred, which is a result of buying into the person who's abusing you, what they're selling you in regards to yourself. It is common amongst many abuse survivors. Okay? It is very well known. All right? So to sit there, but you're saying incorrectly that, but see, the shocks can lead to this. Abuse leads to this, Karen. That's the whole subject matter. We're not going to be missing the forest for the trees because the JRC wants us to. Okay? The question is not, this electrical device did not cause that. The harm the device caused by an abuser constantly utilizing it at just below the lethal limit for so-called beginnings of aggression, especially if it goes on unchecked for years. If we get to where we buy what you're selling, what you're telling us, yes, the frequency of self-harm is going to increase. Now, I brought the neurotypicals in it because I've brought this up many times on this channel. The reason why there is two different terms is because self-injurious behavior may be masked in a way that society has accepted, even if extremely loosely and with extreme prejudice, such as drugs, alcohol. God, I swear I'm not a church lady, but extreme promiscuity. You see what I'm saying? It's a form of self-harm. It is a form, if you will, of self-injurious behavior. But it is a form that society has in some form accepted. So that is perfectly normal and okay, even when it's not. Even when the underlying things that are causing that harmful behavior is the exact same thing that causes the increase in frequency of self-injurious behavior. For the love of God, it's the same damn thing. Okay? Ugh, I get so tired, folks. You all have no idea. That's what the FDA is saying. We have plenty of evidence to back up the fact that those who suffer from abuse may eventually have an increase of self-injurious behavior. Okay? This is a fact. There's been multiple studies on it. The JRC wants you, as I said, to miss the forest for the trees. Don't buy into it. Because that device they designed to hurt people, Dr. Matthew Israel's own words, no less. One of reactions to abuse, both amongst neurotypicals and neurodivergents alike, is some form of self-harm, whether the more acceptable kind that society brushes off, or the other kind, which gets us sent longer into places like this, or where they increase the shocks. We'll shock you until you shut up. We're not dealing with logical people. We're dealing with cruel, stupid barbarity. We're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I do realize that I did not finish the other half of that paragraph. We'll do that in the next video. Sorry, folks. I'm exhausted. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone. And headbutted my knee. Sorry, folks. More caffeine is needed today.